What's up, guys? What's up, man? Welcome back to another episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. Myself, SimFBallCritic, along with Smitty. And we about to throw down, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We may or may not be with Azure. Guys, his schedule is very, very crazy. I keep telling y'all that every week because I don't want anybody to think, oh, what happened to Azure? Got to remind y'all his schedule has changed. He's got 3 little ones. So, when he's able to come back, he's always here. Always welcome. So it is what it is. But got a lot to talk about tonight, man. We plan to have panelists, virtual footballer. Some of you guys may know him by also the moniker on Twitter is Silent Gamer. He asked to come on tonight, so we hopefully will be able to get him on as well. But we got a lot to talk about, man. I'll go through the topics real quick, and then I'll throw it to Smitty and let him speak on behalf of his Lions. Steelers were on the bye, so I don't really have much to talk about there. And then we'll get right into it. So as you guys can see, man, in the title, we want to talk about this EA subscription model. Some news peeked out about that, and Andrew Wilson kind of said some things that they are looking into that model. So me and Smitty will give our thoughts on that. We also want to talk about adaptive AI in Madden. I know that's been quite the discussion over the last week. Seems like, man, every week there's something that pops up that just throws us right into the show. Always gives us a main topic to go into. But on Twitter, a lot of people were talking about adaptive AI. Some people are overanalyzing it, in my opinion. Some are not really understanding what we may mean as far as what adaptive AI means to us in the sim world. So me and Smitty will go into that, as well as, VF once he's on. We also want to talk about Rex Dickson's most recent interview with the MUT Men podcast. Sorry, they're getting tongue twisted. The MUT Men podcast with Gut Fox, and Texas was the other guy's name. I'm kind of familiar with Gut Fox, not really as familiar with Texas, so I apologize to him if I'm not getting his name fully correct. That was a great interview. I'm going to link it down here in the comments. I'll continue to do that. You guys need to watch this interview. Yes. And let me say something real quick, Smitty, before I even, reference the next topic. The reason why I always advocate these things is because, again, Smitty and I don't always want to appear like it's just what we're saying. I love it when there's other avenues, like when it's a Four Verts podcast with Sonny and those guys, or if it's, the MUT Men and just other avenues. So you could see that is not the spin that me and Smitty are putting on it. You're able to see Rex away from us. And there you can see that he's preaching the same message, or he's dropping the same jewels and little hints. So that's why I always want you guys to support other people, but go listen to him elsewhere so you can see it's very consistent with the stuff that me and Smitty talk about. But then also, man, some news that I saw recently, Smitty, just a few hours ago, I threw this in as a topic. EA is reportedly EA is y'all gonna laugh why I said that. That splashed across my screen with TI, right? And I was reading the comment and I saw TI, so I said EI. Hilarious. Crazy how the brain works, right? But EA buying TitanFall's developer Respawn. That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I saw the article, man, and they paid upwards to $400 million. Crazy.
So when people, that's interesting. I'll wait.
Very interesting. So we definitely gonna dive into these topics. And VF, if you're already in here, man, yeah, I see you said check your DM. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot you that invite, and we'll get it rolling. So go ahead, Smitty, kick it off, man. How was your week? Particularly the Lions. I know you're probably not that happy at the moment, but what's going on with the Lions, and how was your week, brother?
Week was good. You know what I'm saying? Can't complain. Week was good.
Oh, wait, y'all won.
Yeah, we won the game. We won the game. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm like, no, I mean, at the end of the day, win's a win, man. You know what I mean? We got the W. Mm-hmm. We gotta win these next 2 games. I think we play Cleveland. We play the Browns. Y'all got that. So we play the Browns. Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna guarantee that because look, hey, they was even hanging with y'all for a little bit.
No, you're right. I was just about to say that you can't. The NFL is week to week, man. I mean, they all pros. Anybody can win at any given time. So you're absolutely right.
But you want to know something that's funny though, because they have like here on the local radio, they every what is it, Monday or Tuesday? No, every Tuesday, TJ Lang comes on the radio for about an hour, and somebody called in. You know, it takes callers and stuff. Like people call in asking questions, and somebody just straight up asked, was like, "Man, you know what? Since we playing the Browns this week, can y'all just sit the first string and just have the second string go out there? Like y'all don't even practice?" And they was cracking up at it. TJ couldn't answer that, you know what I'm saying? Because out of respect, you know what I mean? He in the NFL, he can't just outright diss teams like that. Yeah. But you know, they just laughed at it because it was like, you know, this isn't JV football or something like that. They're not playing against a JV team. Like it still is an NFL team. They still are all pro caliber. You know, these are pro caliber players. So like we can't just slouch on anybody for that matter. But it was funny to hear that. But no, we got the Browns this week. We got the whatchamacallits next week. Following that, you know, for the our Thanksgiving matchup. I mean, yeah. Our Thanksgiving matchup is the gosh dang it, why am I not saying Vikings? There it is. Okay. Ooh. We beat the Vikings. Oof. Then we could we got the lead there, you know what I'm saying, in the division. So that could help us not only with going on the road of getting into the playoffs, but also securing a home game. You know what I'm saying? So that would be great for us. But we got to take it one game at a time. We got to focus on this first game first and foremost. And, you know, we got to take care of business. We don't take care of business, we ain't got to worry about none of that. So that's what it's all about right now. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. And yeah, but I mean, I'm proud that we came away with the W. But I mean, we got to work on our run game. And I mean, listen, like I said before, it doesn't matter what halfback we got. The line has got to, like, we got to make it happen with the line, and we just don't have that right now. We don't have a good line. You know what I'm saying? A good enough line. And even though, you know what, it wouldn't hurt to have a running back with great vision or better vision or that takes care of the ball. Because, I mean, look, Abdullah had some bad fumbles. But you know what? Even though, yes, get mad at him because he had the fumbles, but at the same time, he has not been fumbling like that all season, like how he was when he first got here. So, you know, everybody's not going to bat 1,000, so to speak, all year long. This is not going to happen. And on top of that, too, even with the Pistons, look, Andre Drummond, crazy as it is to say, percentage-wise, extremely early in the season, but percentage-wise is the best. He's got the best free throw percentage on the Pistons. Now, that probably changed after the game against the Pacers because he went 0 for 7 from the strike. But he dramatically, so far this season, has turned it around with his free throw production and his efficiency. So that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a good number of games, I believe, where he'll do good or he'll do decent, get 50% of his free throws. But then he'll have some games where he just lays an egg. Same thing's going to happen in football at times. But with running game, like we always talk about, it's the battle of the trenches. It all starts and ends in the trench. If the trench ain't happening, ain't nothing happening. Yeah, that's all there is to it. So that's key.
Yeah, man, and just to let y'all know real quick, if y'all hear anything in the background, my wife is upstairs laughing crazy, like talking to her cousin. She is hilariously, like ridiculously laughing, so y'all might hear that, but it's all good. VF, man, welcome to the show. And if I'm not mistaken, you a Falcons fan, so welcome to give your thoughts on, first of all, let the people know. They should already know who you are, but introduce yourself in that regard and how you feel about the Falcons so far, man.
Oh, what's going on? Y'all can hear me, right? I'm good.
Yep.
Yay, nay? Okay.
Yeah, you good.
Okay, just making sure because I want to make sure that was good. No, basically, I am virtual footballer. My channel is the Silent Sports Network. I am the founder and one half of my podcast, First and Frame Rates with Bills. We do our podcast. We drop our episode every Sunday morning. So whenever y'all want to come through and just listen to what we have to say, mostly we talk about just sports topics throughout the week, also a little bit of sports gaming. And when I saw this topic about the EA Sports subscription, I wanted to get on and talk to you guys because a lot of people, even on my old channel, I made a video about this maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I want to speak on that mostly. And I do want to talk about the adaptive AI and Madden as well. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, no doubt. Man. Any thoughts on your Falcons lately?
No, we just need to get some better offense. The defense is actually playing pretty good. I mean, we're holding teams down to under 21 points a game. We're 15th in the league in defense. You can't ask for no worse than that. I mean, you're in the middle of the pack. But last year, Matt Ryan was MVP. We scored almost 33, 35 points a game. That is down to 19 points a game. That's really an indictment on the offensive coordinator, the type of play calling, because we lost our offensive coordinator to the 49ers.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it is. It's nothing else outside of that. I mean, if the defense is doing their job and, all our personnel is still back on offense and you're just not running the correct plays, that's just where you see where the problem lies. So, I mean, we're 4-4 right now. We're playing Dallas this week at home. No Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, we always have a chance because of our defense is playing as good as they are. But it's just the offense is not being explosive as to what they were last year. I mean, look, we were up on a couple of teams this year, but when you get a bunch of 3 and outs because of bad play calling, your defense, I don't care how good your defense is, when you're constantly going back on the field after 3 and outs, they're going to break after a while. I mean, you just look at the Super Bowl in general. That's basically what happened. Yeah, I mean, we had four rookies on defense in the Super Bowl, but still, you can't give Tom Brady that many chances with the veteran defense, let alone the defense with 4 rookies. So that's basically, they just need to get over that hump as far as the offense actually handling the rock better. That's basically what it is.
Lord have mercy. That sounds awfully familiar. That sounds just like the Pittsburgh Steelers, boy.
Yeah.
All that talent on offense. I don't understand. But this just goes to show people, footballers, man, you just never know.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you would expect the Falcons to pick up right where they left off. But like you said, what's key is the coordinator. That's major.
Because, I mean,
we've had the same guy, but I don't know what Todd Haley doing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it. If you really just look at what happened in various games, if anybody followed the Falcons, you just look at the play calling. If you watch that Patriots game when we went up to Foxborough, who runs the end around on 4th and 1? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it don't matter, even if Shanahan wasn't there, there's no offensive coordinator to run a play like that. But those are the type of plays that have been killing us. And like I said, the defense has been doing their job. They got most of them got another year under their belt under the system. They're doing what they're supposed to do, but they're going to blow a lead if you constantly get, if you're like 2 for 10 on 3rd downs. The defense can't hold but for so long. So
exactly.
That's basically what it is. I mean, if the offense start moving the ball a little bit, maybe even 1 or 2 times you convert on 3rd down, that makes a difference because we were losing games 20-17, 17-23. Just we're losing games just because of we can't keep the offense on the field.
So, yeah, that's crazy, man. I had this conversation with my father-in-law every week. He's one of those fans. I like to call it's some real like obsessive Steelers fans that they think we supposed to get every first down, stop every 3 and out. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, like they are NFL team also. Like the defense is playing well, but you cannot give an opposing NFL offense numerous opportunities. You can't do that. So I think they'll get it together though, man. I still got faith. I always look at each division And in my mind, I pick who I think comes out of there. I still think the Falcons.
I mean,
got a chance.
I put it like this: if they just get that offense running even close to what they're doing, I mean, like I said, they were averaging 33 points a game with a defense that was in the top 17 last year. If they're averaging 19 now, just imagine you get another touchdown and they average 26, 27 a game. There's no team in our division that's going to stop us. Period. You know, somebody put what's my channel name? Is Silent Sports Network. Is right under what you put in the chat. That's my channel.
Y'all know I always got to pick with people. I mean, it's got to be whatever it is he's coming. I'm just saying that's got to be his YouTube channel. But y'all know I like to pick with folks, man. But yeah, man, definitely check him out. First and Frame Rates, good stuff there, man. I listen to it all the time. Just like, you know, I know Virtual knows this by now. I rarely comment on stuff just because I can't keep up all the time with everybody, but I listen to everything. So They do a great job over there. I love the dialogue they have. I've always, you know, respected the perspective of VF and Bill. So it was only a matter of time for you guys to do something like that.
Yeah, well, it was a matter of time. We've been talking about it for at least 5-6 months now. We just never had the time because of our work schedule, but we kind of got a little thing going. We can do at least once a week, mostly around Sunday morning. We try to put it out there so people can listen to it prior to them watching their favorite football team play, you know. So we just try to keep a different perspective on everything, not necessarily just football gaming. We talk about like topics around the football or just sports in general. We just talk about our thoughts on those. So it's all good. And by the way, Smitty, you owe me an episode.
What do you mean I owe you an episode?
You been saying you was coming on my podcast.
Okay, so yeah, just say like, let me know when you're gonna get on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you owe me an episode, man.
You owe me an episode. All right. So whenever,
you do it on Sunday. You do it on Sunday though, man. Like,
hey man, we can make accommodations for you anytime. Anytime you want to slide through.
Well, yeah, okay.
So
because with the wife and kid, we'll work it out.
Yeah, I'll get on. I know how it is, man. I know.
Yeah, I'll get on. No doubt. We'll do it.
Just shoot the information. You always welcome.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to do that as well, man. Sunday is a little difficult, but like you said, we can find time because what you guys do is y'all do it like it's not live, so I'm sure I can find a day.
We have talked. Yeah, we talked about doing it live, but once again, it's just based on how our schedule is. Because sometimes we'd rather record because of our schedule. Because we come in and we do it live, and it's like we're not really prepared to go live. Because sometimes we just come straight off work and just go in, and whatever's on our mind, we just go. So I mean, that's good for live whatever. But we just haven't taken it there yet. But we are looking into that somewhere in the near future. So we really want to do that. So just like have the format you guys have, I already got it set up. I just need to, me and Bill just need to talk together about how we actually going to do it.
Yeah, man.
But like I said, you guys, anytime, definitely, you guys, doors are always open.
Absolutely. Likewise, man. And you guys make sure y'all check that out. You won't be disappointed. And let's go ahead and jump into the topics. And VF, actually, man, we'll let you kick it off. We'll start with the EA subscription model because I actually do remember when you said that.
Yeah,
I'm definitely want to hear your thoughts on that and educating the people as far as how you think it would work.
All right, this when EA said they're going to do a subscription model for their sports titles, I was actually excited because back in 2014 or it was late 2014, I always thought that based on the way these games are developed and what we want in the game, I thought a subscription base would be great for these titles instead of us getting a copy of the game every year. And there's various reasons why I say that, and it's very beneficial to both parties. Now, why I say that is when the reason why I came up with this this idea, because I recently built a PC around that time, and when I built the PC, there was various games on PC that are subscription based. One that really caught my attention was iRacing, and it's a simulation racer. It's probably the most simulation racer out there. I mean, I'm talking about it surpassed Forza, it surpassed Gran Turismo. I mean, it's a simulation racer where you literally are on a subscription where you actually do leagues and special events. You have practice sessions throughout, and it simulates real cars. It does all of that to the T. It doesn't just give you the feel of the car. It gives you a real life instance of what car you drive and what it's like and what type of racing. I'm not talking about like a race in Forza where you do like 4 or 5 laps. These guys on here do races 2, 3, 400, 500 lap sessions online on their subscription. And what they do is they update they update the game every 12 weeks, especially between the competition seasons when they have people actually competing. My only reason with that, I did it for 2 months. The only reason why I couldn't do it is because you literally have to dedicate your life to do this. It is that serious to these people. I mean, it does very well online. I mean, they have like maybe a few million people actually participate in this, and they have their own leagues throughout. And like I said, it's like real racing, what you see on TV. And what I was thinking was when EA said they was going to do this with Madden or Live or FIFA or whatever, everything just streamlines over, because what they do is with iRacing, I don't know if EA is going to do this, but they have the technology to just bring everything over, updates just free-flowingly coming in. Now, I don't know how it's going to work on the console because, you know, they do this, that, and the third for patches. But then again, when you look at NBA Live, I don't know if I know you guys noticed. I know with Live 15 and Live 14, in some instances with 16, they were able to just streamline gameplay over. So it wasn't even in a patch. It was just an update where you just saw differences in the game once you played it. And I think that's what EA is trying to go to. And why I say it's a win-win for everybody, you don't have to, it's basically like undercutting the middleman with you using a subscription base. Everything is just streamlined online where everything is just updated through. You don't have to worry about, you know, a patch being coming in or whatever, if they're using the same model. Also, with it being subscription based, you don't have to worry about buying a game. Therefore, if you pay a subscription, me personally, I always thought when I made the video back in 2014, it would be a maybe $5.99 a month. If you do $4.99 a month, that's $5 a month. 5 times 12 is $60. You're paying a full game for a year. I think for the convenience, I'll say even $6, maybe $7.99 a month. Everything just, you know, you have everything right there. And like I said, everything will be streamlined through if they're going to do the same thing like with iRacing or any other these other games that are on PC that are subscription based. And you don't have to worry about, like I said, for us, the gameplay, I think that's where it really would shine, because you will have that streamline where the gameplay will be enhanced much easier, much quicker. Like if anybody did, like I said, if anybody played Live, NBA Live 14 started out rough, but at the end of the day, it turned out a pretty decent ball game, and it was a smooth transition to 15, where if you played 14 the entire time, you saw the improvements. Same thing with 15 to 16. So I like I said, I can't say anything negative about it on the surface. If they're going to do it anyway, like how like PC gaming doing, which I think that's what, if you look at everything as far as gaming in general, it looks like it's going through that model, but they're going to try to keep it in the box as far as the box of the console. But yeah, those same models is going to be, you know, streamlined through. So like I said, I think it's a win-win because of what you get in return, instead of just buying a disc and everything is on the disc and you're just waiting for EA to go through PlayStation or go through Xbox to get everything updated, and you know, everything just be streamlined in. Also, I'm gonna let you guys want to know y'all thoughts on that, and then I'm gonna try to give y'all an instance of how it might work.
Yeah, Smitty, what do you think, man? How do you think it will work? And also, what are your initial thoughts on it in general?
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be bad. Excuse me. It wouldn't be a bad thing to do, because if you look at like what VF is saying, and that's something that I've said on here on this show as well, with the updating and the patching, and you look at the microtransaction whole, you know, arena and all that stuff, that's been going on for like, that originally was what you would buy on PC back then. Because remember, you had like the little bonus packs and stuff like that. Like back then, if you bought Tiger Woods on PC, you had to buy the courses. And they came out with like 4 or 5 different course packs. So ultimately, at the when it's all said and done, you paid close to $100 for Tiger Woods if you bought everything. You know what I'm saying? The game and all the add-ons. Tom Clancy with Rainbow Six, same deal with that too. You had all those packs. Yeah, you had more missions and stuff like that. More missions, more camos, more weapons, and all that stuff. Modes and everything would be on the disc. So you had all that stuff back then. Now, and then that's when it started with the paid subscription games. You had EverQuest.
Yep.
I think that was one of the first ones.
Yep.
So you're playing that, and now you got these other games that are out that all go by that model. I mean, look, World of Warcraft. How many subscribers? You know, they probably got dang near 20 million or more subscribers on that game. And I mean, that game came out a mighty long time ago, and I'm pretty sure they steadily updated, you know, as need be. But you got, like what you said about the iRacing, it's the same deal. You got a devoted crowd of people that are playing it. People putting real money into those games to buy weapons. Like, they're spending, you know, hundreds, thousands of dollars, you know what I'm saying, on virtual weapons. It's no different than like you hear about these cards with MUT and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, this is an outrage. I'm like, yeah, it's an outrage because it's on console now. Because back then, console didn't have all that stuff. It was only on PC. Now that it's on console happening, it's this big issue. But that's a whole nother hill of beans there. But as far as the subscription service, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But see, my thing would be that I would expect more, because essentially your game is continuously being developed. And see, for people that don't necessarily know about that, if you got, like with VF, if you got Steam, you know all about it. And if you're on a PC, there are many games that are in early access.
Yeah, they're in greenlight development.
Buy it. Yeah, right. And you can buy it. And you can play it, and it's like you could buy it at a cheaper price, and then they keep working on it and keep updating it accordingly. So it's like the same kind of deal with having a subscription-based kind of service. How it will work, though, I would like it to be along the lines of how we see it done with the PC gaming. I want to see, you know, okay. Oh. All right, I'll check my daughter. I'm sorry, but no. If I want to see the game getting updated, the game being progressively developed, and see if you listen to what Rex's interview that he did. Think about that with Frostbite and how, and Sim and I, we've spoken about that multiple times here. Think about it like Photoshop in that sense. Oh man, that's in this game. Oh man, yo, we want that. Oh, they got this too. Oh man, we want that. So think about seeing that stuff happen, progressively being updated in a subscription kind of manner, and they're able to just consistently keep updating the game and evolve the game. That's something that ultimately is stuff that we talked about. In a sense, that's like saying do a 2-year dev cycle. Have them do 2 multi-year dev cycles instead of it being 1. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, hey, I feel that something like that could help, because you don't necessarily have the pressure of you got to roll out a game by this date.
Right, exactly.
You know
exactly.
And
I was just about to get on to that next, and I was going to add a couple more points to that. Go ahead, keep going, Smitty.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say with that, you can progressively build. Because look, I know we ain't talking about it last week, Sim, but they put out that UFC 3 trailer. And I mean, looking at the play, I mean, just looking at it and reading about it, that's a game with 2-year dev cycles. And look what they're able to do. Like, we reworked the striking, the movement, all that stuff from the ground up kind of deal. That's the kind of stuff you could do and have the game release, and you can build that stuff out accordingly. You know what I mean? As people are still playing it. So once again, I like the model of being the potential. I'll say the potential. I like the potential of what it is they could do, especially with Frostbite. Now they made that move over, how things are going to fall into place. We have yet to see it in terms of fruition, but talking and listening to what Rex has said and explained about what Frostbite's going to bring to the table and what it's going to be, what it's going to help these guys with building the game up. Hey, I like it. I like it a lot, and it'll be very interesting to see what these guys are going to be able to do in the long term.
And another thing, I'm looking in the comment section. I don't think people understand where what the people are talking about. I don't think they understand this whole subscription thing
at all.
Because
that's what I'm saying.
What they're saying is they're still thinking that patches is going to still be added to the game. That's one of the reasons why they're getting away from the subscription model. Like I said, the game that I played was iRacing, and there's other ones on PC. They don't even patch games. They just add stuff into the game. Gameplay is just thrown into the game. Updates are just thrown into the game because the way is built. If it's going to be built that way, you're looking at a situation where the game is there. You don't have to worry about updating what's on the disc. You're updating what's already in the game. That just like what Smitty said, you don't have to worry about, I need to patch Madden 18. I need to patch Madden 19. What it is, if it's a subscription-based game, just say, for instance, it is Madden football. The game is out there. Now, what I said, the way it may work, you may have to buy a disc, but it's going to be like maybe a disc to unlock the actual game. Just in case you don't, let's say, for instance, if I download the game and I come to your PlayStation, Smitty, and I want to download my subscription on your PlayStation, and then all of a sudden you leave it on your PlayStation. Now it's like cheating the system. Now my subscription is running on both PS4s. So that's why I would think how it would work on a console, because of the two separate, people may try to cheat the system and say, oh, I'm going to give my buddy my subscription and he's going to work it that way. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments once again. Yeah, you still need patches, and no, you'll get an update. It won't be do anybody have Steam? Like, if you have Steam,
if you have Steam, you'll understand. Yeah, that's what he's getting at.
Yeah, if you're on PC, you don't get a patch. There's no patch come on Steam. That's why, if you notice, another thing, you don't never really hear about PC gamers talking about, oh, here's another patch. Oh, I'm pissed off about a patch. Why? No, the game is just coming through as is. Maybe it'd be yay or nay, but even if the game is messed up, it'd be so easy for them to take it back out, because you're not worrying about the middleman as far as what you have to pay to add content into it. Like, for instance, I don't know if they're still doing it. I know for certain with NBA Live, they did 7 updates to NBA Live 15. And none of them was like 1 point whatever, 1 point this. It was just when you cut the game on, there were just updates already in the game. And I think with Live 18, I think you finally saw where I think now they'll patch 106 now. But I know with Live 15, there was no patches. Everything was just updated straight through. Yes, there are patches on PC, but you don't see them as if you see them you don't see them as if you see them on consoles. So I don't know what you guys are trying to get at. And I'm not saying that you're wrong or right, but it's not the same way. It's one of the reasons why they're talking about going to this model. And another thing, you guys do an online franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't have to worry about starting over again if it's subscription based.
That's another great point.
That's it. You just keep going.
Yep, you're right.
Unless if you want to start over with new rosters, other than that, it just keep going. Like I said, I can't tell you what EA is doing. I don't know what they're doing, but based on subscription models, that's how it's going. Like Smooth said, just then, updates are continuous for the duration. Like it keeps going. There's no, oh, I gotta wait for Tuesday for a patch to come. Whatever needs to be done is just going to be done.
Yep.
So I mean, like I said, it's a win-win on both sides because each patch costs money. Putting physical copies out of the game costs money. You know, all that could be thrown in for gameplay. Yeah, I think the only downside to it is, and I know they can do it. The only downside to it is maybe trying to get assets, graphical assets like textures and the game to look different. And I know iRacing does it. They use laser technology the laser scan with some device they have. They laser scan tracks and cars, and they just use the laser the laser scanning to update their game that way. So they should be able to do the same thing. But I think that'll be the only thing, because if you have to update that, it's going to be an update where they take out old assets and add new ones in. So you may get like a big update maybe every 6, maybe 8 months, where you actually have to change the graphics, how the game looks. But as far as gameplay, that stuff should be streamlined easily. I mean, if anybody looked at and y'all got the what's it called, the actual article up for them to actually say what they're doing, it tells you that they finally have the code to streamline this stuff. It says it in the actual article that was out about this. So I mean,
it's right there.
It's right there, you know. I mean, I'm not harping for EA saying like, you know, it's all good. I'm just giving you the facts of what this entails.
Yeah, it's crazy to me, man. I just look at like sometimes I just look at comments here, comments on Twitter. It always amazes me how everybody seems to look for the negative first.
Right.
We have no idea how this is going to work. We're just merely talking about. We really want to discuss how we think it might be and is it a good idea. That's it. None of us know how this is going to work.
But see, you know something, guys. Oh, this is the same thing. This is like having faith, like I said, having faith or having belief in something without actually seeing it yet. You know what I mean? It's always going to be the level of speculation of, I don't know, or there's going to be some level of doubt. Because remember, look, when they did the day one digitals and being able to pre-download games and all that, there was tons of doubt with that too. But then now you got people that as soon as the game comes available on that marketplace, they tweeting screenshots. Oh, I'm ready. I can't wait. You know, like they're okay with it now.
They doubted EA access too.
Yeah, exactly. And same deal with that.
All over that.
Yeah. So
that wasn't nothing but a trial. That's all it was. Just to see, they just wanted to gauge. Come on, man. Y'all, I keep telling y'all got to use the third eye, man. Don't just use the 2 that you got. You gotta. This has been coming for a long time. Like what y'all, I probably could say this. I wanted to say it earlier, but I said I'll save it for the show. I had this conversation with somebody at EA, 2, maybe 3 years ago. 3. Let's say 2 to be exact, just to be safe. I think it was 3, but we're gonna just say 2. And it was exactly what's in that article. I'm not gonna say who, because I don't know if that's out of bounds or not. And I wanted to mention this as well. When y'all hear me and Smitty and Azure and other people alike talk about NDAs, this is the stuff we're talking about. It don't just apply to the current year. It's stuff we even know now that we can't say because we don't know. Like, imagine if I would have said this back then. And I would have came out and said, yo, I heard that EA might think, then I would have been in the wrong, right? Now, Andrew Wilson is coming out and saying, you know, this is something we're considering. Yes, they are, because I'm telling you, I had this conversation 2 years ago. And to me, my idea of it, I think it could be a good thing, but I have to see what it means. Like, and I refer to VF and Smitty because they, have been in the PC market, so they know that more than I do. But it definitely sounds like that's going to help dev time.
Hold on 1 minute. Sim, check your Twitter, and I want you to just read a little bit of what that say right there. That's a part of the article right there. You can even just read the first quote on that. That tells you everything you need to know.
So it says here, guys, there's a world where it gets easier and easier to move that code around, where we may not have to do an annual release. Wilson told Bloomberg TV host Emily Chang on her show Studio 1.1. I don't care. 1.0. I don't know if y'all needed to know that, but we can really think about those games as a 365-day live service.
That's right. That's it right there. There's nothing else to say. They can move the code around where it is what it is, and and like I said, that goes for updates or whatever the case may be. They don't have to put everything on a disk. So it like I said, it's a win-win for everybody when you're trying to make something up to go through. That just be easier for everybody. They don't have to go through a dev cycle as much. We don't have to do what we have to do as far as waiting. Like y'all running a league. You know, if the gameplay is continuously updated on a streamline like this, it honestly will make me want to play the game more.
Yeah, man. And, you know, they just cleared it up for me right there. I mean, like I said, VF and Smitty knows that. If that basically kind of reduces or eliminates pretty much the actual dev cycle, that's a lot of time that they don't have to account for anymore. Because I tell y'all,
I'm pretty sure y'all know it's stuff that want to be put in the game right now that probably can't be in later because of these type of restrictions now. With this the way it is, it can move faster. So I wonder if people will understand where we're coming from with that. That's the main reason why I wanted to come through, because I wanted to share that, because I know Smitty knows we play games that deal with this. Like right now, Smitty, you seen me play the game Squad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that game is an ultra simulation shooter, goes way beyond any of these Battlefield games that you play. I mean, Battlefield's not a bad game, but Squad is like seriously sim when it comes to shooters. But it's in green light development, and what they're doing, I paid $17 for the game, and they're constantly updating it. You know, if you play the game, sometimes you don't even have to play the game. If it's downloaded to your PC, you'll go on Steam. They already added something already. So it's always there. Somebody said that the updates have to be certified, or no. These updates, no, because they're not like a patch. You're streamlining the game that's online, and I'm a big proponent of playing online games. But as far as this goes, I'm big on this because it enhances the game, not necessarily hinders trying to play online. So it really helps when it comes to this.
Yeah, man, and think about it like this too. And again, this is pure speculation on my point, but I kind of look at what they're doing or what they did with EA Access as a model. Imagine it's like that. You can pay, maybe they allow you to, re-up every year, or maybe they allow you to play X amount each month. This eliminates people who say they don't like the game. You can jump in there for the month, have your subscription, pay whatever it is for that month, play all of the, play the game, see how you like it. And if you don't want to deal with it, you're done.
Yeah,
because I'm sure it's not going to be $60 for a month. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. If anybody don't like it, they can go about their business. You only lose $5 in the process, or whatever the monthly subscription in the process.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, man. I think, again, guys, I mean, like Smitty said, we all are going to have a level of speculation, but I think, the way I just try to live in general, man, is I wait and see. Y'all know I like to use analogies that most people can understand. It's just like back in the day, and maybe some of y'all still now, when your boy used to try to hook you up on a blind date. You had thoughts of, ooh, I hope she this, I hope she that, and you didn't know until you saw her, until you got to talk to her. You didn't automatically go into it like, man, she probably gonna be whack. I ain't gonna like her. The breath gonna stink. You ain't never say that. So you should approach everything like that. Wait and see, and then when we find out, let's say it's trash, then we can say how bad it is. Yeah. That's just how I live.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not saying that it's a perfect solution to the game, but it's definitely it's not just a step. This is a big step in the right direction when it comes to gameplay. Because I think at the end of the day, I think that's the meat and potatoes of this subscription base. People want to say it's money. Yeah, it's a business. They want to make money, but for them to enhance, enhance the game as far as gameplay, this is your best bet as far as getting the best gameplay on a day, sometimes on a daily, weekly, maybe monthly basis, based on, oh, something's wrong with the game, let's do this. Something's wrong with the game, let's do that. And that's another thing. That's one thing I like about Access Football. And I don't know if nobody really looks at Access Football. His is not even a subscription base, but the fact that he can streamline his game like that, he's been updating his game on the fly like that. So it works. You know, it works in that aspect. So the meat and potatoes is the gameplay, and I think if all of us want to play on a simulation level, I think that's where it really shines.
So basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I think this is what y'all have said, but just to confirm, it would get I'm marching down some touchy territory here because I kind of had this conversation. So let me word it in the most general sense. And it wasn't Madden, by the way.
Just say company X does XXX. Yeah. Okay.
Would it be where, let's say it's Madden for this sake, but the conversation I had wasn't Madden, so I'm in the clear there. But would it be that it's just like you said, Madden NFL? So we wouldn't have 8, 19, 20, 21. It would just be Madden.
It'll serve them right as far as putting out the actual game. Just don't put a number on it. Because if you're going to do a subscription base, you wouldn't want to put a number because that's going to turn off people who actually play the game. Let's just say, for instance, if you had a subscription to Madden 19 and it's 2021, it makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. That's cool, man. I mean, I'm all for it. Like anything else, let's wait and see what it's like. But, I think it's good for us to have a conversation. And it's very interesting, man, to see Andrew Wilson say that. Because remember, guys, we always say Rex comes out and tells you a lot of little hint stuff, right? And Rex said a year or so ago that Andrew Wilson is now more in line with that. So to see him, start really saying what's happening and stuff like that, that's cool. We'll just have to wait and see. We don't know if this is going to be a hit or not, but I think it would be a good idea. And again, I think it gives everybody that red box type of, like you can hold that in your pocket. If you ain't sure about the game, let me give them whatever amount it is this month, see what it is. You don't like it, boom.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it's $6 a month, you play it for a month and you don't like it, no harm, no foul. You can go about your business.
Yep.
Like I said, like I said, I don't think it's perfect. I can't claim it because it's just the article just came out. But if you just like the Twitter picture I just sent you about what they said, that's the meat of what it is. They can move code around to streamline the game to you. So it's that right there. You don't have to worry about waiting for stuff. It's there. I mean, like I said, I can't name how many PC games that do that. Like Smitty said, World of Warcraft, the other games that he mentioned, and it's just on PC. You don't have to pay for patches anyway. I mean, they don't have to pay for patches to put patches on Steam anyway. So everything just comes straight through. And I think that's what Madden and EA are trying to do. And I think it works perfectly for this game in general, this type of game in general.
Here's a perfect example that we all will understand. When the game launched, zones were broken. What I'm gaining from this conversation is they could have fixed that, bam, right away.
There's no launch. I'm worrying about if the game is great on launch. It's just already there.
It's already there.
You know what I'm saying? It's already, even if the game is launching, it's like, like you guys said, if y'all go down and test the game while it's in the subscription-based phase, y'all go down and say the zones with this, zone with that. You don't even have to worry about nothing. Before y'all leave, depends on how they got it done. They can just get in there, bam, in a few days, it's done. Because of the fact how well they can streamline it. They don't have to worry about, processing a disk. This has to go on disk. Now we got to make a whole bunch of copies of disk. We got to hurry up and do it. Or like, for instance, like when the hurricane came, they bust their butts to get that patch out before the hurricane came. But if it's streamlined the way it is, they can get out of the clear from the hurricane, but they didn't have to bust their butts to do it. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say it happens, man. It kind of reminds me of, remember when the Xbox One first came in and they was going to do that whole digital thing. I kept telling people, we're going to see something like this return. And it's going to get to a point where if you're not online, hey. I mean,
but that's another thing. I know somebody said this, like, in the comment section that said, will there be an offline version, or like, will there be a numbered disc for them? Now, personally, I can't say that for Madden, but what they do with iRacing, it's not necessarily, I think that's an online game, but there are other games where you can play offline, but you still get those updates. It's not like you have to continue to buy a game over and over again. You just pay, like, for instance, I think with iRacing is $9.99 a year. I mean, it's fairly cheap over there, but I think you don't have to play online with that. You could just race like you want to. So you could race against bots. You just play, and what you're paying for is a yearly subscription to get updates to different tracks. Like somebody in the comments that said they use drones to scan race tracks to put in the game, or they scan cars to put in the game, and they scan them, and they just like that, they put them in based on the technology they have. So I think that works, definitely, even for the offline gamer, because you still going to have those features in the game, when you want to play by yourself.
Yeah, I think you can look right at EA right now on the mobile front, and there you go.
There you go, exactly.
Live mobile, Mad Mobile. That is exactly my envision of how it would work.
And that was I could have scrolled down a little bit further in that article. They talked about what they did. Madden, I think it's Madden Mobile or Live Mobile, been going on for 3 years now. Yeah. And they just been updating it, and the game continues. I'm not too much of a mobile person, but I see the improvements where the game is continuously being played, is popular, the gameplay is great, even on mobile. So that's basically where you see the model right there as well. So between the Madden Mobile, the NBA Live Mobile, and you see what they're saying in this article, and we're giving you the examples on PC, how they do theirs. The proof is there. The only thing is how they do it in house at EA, because I'm not sure if they have the same type of situation that the other games have. Maybe they do. Maybe that's why they're going to this model. So I think it really works. Now, if you don't have an internet connection, I mean, that's obvious. Somebody put, if you was not online at all, you don't have an internet connection, you're probably not going to get any updates. You're probably just going to have to play the game the way you have. That's just what it is.
And at the end of the day, like, again, this is not me being, a smart bud or whatever. That's how business works. It used to be a time when, remember those last gen games used to get, it's just, I honestly, like, if the company's going to do that, they've decided that this is the best model for them. If they're going to lose some people, because like you said, some people don't have the online capability, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but I think if you don't have access to online,
I think what I would think, if they did not have an online connection, I think you will get a base game, and that it is what it is. Now,
that's it. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if anything, you might get, you may get updates as far as rosters, but if they're going to go all in with the subscription model, I doubt it if you will see a patch in that version.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's not necessarily if you don't have a good internet or not. If you just have basic internet, you should be fine. I mean, my internet is a little above average, and I play on PC, and all my updates come through just fine. So you should be okay with that goes. But I think you will probably get a base game still, because, but you never know how they would do it.
Yep. We'll see. Well, Smitty, man, let's go to the next topic. I'll let you kick it off, and then you can throw it to VF and come back to me after that. Let's talk about this adaptive AI, man, because, again, just browsing Twitter. Twitter is so funny because, first of all, there's a speculation word again. And then, second of all, people don't really take time to have conversations. So you see a whole lot of, boy, it's going to be this. No, it's going to be that. Well, I don't want this, and I want that. So, Smitty, what are your thoughts in general on all of the talk about adaptive AI, and explain what you mean, what we mean when we talk about adaptive AI? Because a lot of people seem to think we're just talking about a system that, after they run the play 4 or 5 times, it automatically gets shut down, which we don't want something like that. To me, that's a false AI. So what does that mean to you, man, when you think of adaptive AI in a game like Madden?
Like, adaptive AI to me means that when we're talking about how the game plays, we're talking about seeing tendencies and seeing how the game evolves, how your personnel evolves to those player tendencies. As the game goes on. I'm not talking about like what Sim said. You run the same play. You run the same play 4 or 5 times, automatically they figure it out, and now they got it snuffed. and you just do another play, and now you got that money play going. No. I'm talking about tendency, situational awareness, actually adjusting based upon what's happening on the field or how they play despite the play call. So what I mean by that is this. And I got some videos forthcoming that give kind of like a demo of what I'm talking about when it comes to zone play. And I'm using 2K5 to showcase that. I know some people, can't believe I'm doing that and everything. I know it's a game changer. We ain't, we're outlawed from doing so, but nevertheless, you have plays where if I have a player and I say I want him to play, let's say he's in a soft squat, okay? But I want him to play hard flat. He'll play the hard flat, but he's going to play the hard flat according to what's going on in front of him. If there's no running back coming out of the backfield and there's only one wide receiver in his vicinity that passes him, he's going to drop back, and he's going to be a cushion between him, that wide receiver and the safety, the next level of defense. If there's no one else there except him, then he's going to scramble back and try and cover because there's no one else there. That's the kind of stuff that what I'm talking about in that regard. It's not just play call, but also if you're playing an offline franchise, how that team adjusts to you and what you're doing.
So basically, you talking about situational awareness.
Yeah, well, not just situational awareness in terms of players on the field, but also like when it comes to the coaching, like the whole aspect of it. Coaching actually mattering, like how Jim Bob Cooter is versus like I was talking about earlier. Jim Bob Cooter, Terrell Austin, Jim Caldwell. How do these guys coordinate? I want to see their tendencies in terms of their play call, in terms of how they would adjust in their play call sense.
I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off, but you know a game that did that very well, and nobody really talks about this.
What?
NCAA 14 did this very well. And I'm gonna tell you why. If you look at the coaching tree, you got an offensive coordinator, defense coordinator. You have to get those guys on your team, and you run the offense based on your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and they run it to a T. So as far as coaches, it can be done. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got the coaching schemes, their percentages, like however it's figured out, okay, or calculated. But based upon what that team does, you try and make adjustments to combat against it.
Right.
Based upon how good that coordinator is. So, that offense, defensive coordinator, head coach is, whatever it is that they want to do. See what I'm saying? They may suggest certain plays, like an Ask Madden kind of deal on defense. You'll get suggestions from that coach, as a user. But
right.
If I'm playing CPU, they're going to adjust their play call. They'll adjust and they'll do coverage audibles and adjustments based upon what you're doing against them. So they're going to use all the tools they got in the belt to go against you. That's what I'm talking about in regards to that AI, not just you called play A 4 times. Oh, we got something for play A. Now go to play B. No, that's that simplistic way of thinking about it. We're talking about in-depth stuff here. How they make changes. Because another game that did it in was an NFL head coach where
but
your personnel, they adjusted.
Head coach, the dynamic of that game was different than what we do play in.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I'm talking about the principle.
Yeah, I'm saying the game, head coach would not have worked if it didn't do that. I get what you're not wrong. It's just that, in other words, that game should have just been implemented in Madden. You know what I mean? Well, not that game, but that concept should have been implemented because, like you said, as head coach, whatever you run, that's based on the concept you play, and they play it to that, and you can make those adjustments. They don't have like in the chat, people saying about 14, and I know a lot of people asking what made 14 better than 18 as far as play calling. What it was, they have a dynamic where there's 3 people that you have to account for. It's the coach, the offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator. and you have to build those coordinators based on the skill tree. Like if you get X amount of points, you could build up that skill tree for them to be. So for that, let's say you can make your running offense be better running backs based on that experience of the OC, or you can make better tacklers because of the experience of the DC. And like with me, I'm playing NCAA 14 now. I mean, I know you guys know I always play that game, and I'm running a pistol with my offensive coordinator, and with the defense, I'm running a multiple defense, like with 2-4-5 or 3-3-5, and I need that personnel to play like that. So therefore, like he said, adaptive AI. If I got the wrong people that I recruited for that team, for that defense, they're not going to play to their potential. A lot of people don't want to know. A lot of people don't want to admit this, but that game already has it. So when you guys are talking about adaptive AI, I'm not saying that it's necessarily there in Madden, but I know they can pull it off because it's already there.
It's interesting too, Smitty. Before you throw it to NCAA, I wanted to clarify what I put in the chat. There's always a reason, guys, why I ask these questions. When people say that 2K5 was a GOAT, NCAA was a GOAT, I be wanting to know specific reasons. And I always say in terms of gameplay. And a lot of times, nobody gives actual gameplay. They'll say stuff like, oh, well, they did this, they did that. I get it. But I'm talking about on the field. I want to know, what was it about NCAA 14 on the field that is superior to Madden 18? And the reason why I'm asking is because I recall when that game was out, we all know this to be fact. There were numerous problems that we all thought about that game.
Right.
Numerous.
I think this is the problem with that. And another reason why I think they need to go to a subscription model. When you're looking at yearly titles, people rush. They rush. They want to get as much out of the game before the next one comes out. And we all did this even back in the PS2 days. And if you didn't say if everybody here, if you say you didn't do it, you're lying. Because we wanted to get as much out of Madden 05 before 06 came out, 06 before 07 came out. With the subscription base, you can actually dig into the game and see. NY Kid just came in the chat. He would know just as much as I do. We still play that college game. We still have our PlayStation 3s. Years later, we see what that game is actually capable of. The game, even with 2K5, I've ran 2 30-year dynasties in that game. I know what that game entails. In as far as the gameplay, there's very little adaptive AI in that game. It's not, I mean, it was ahead of its time, but it was more like the player won't do the same thing twice as far as the play being ran. Even if you run the same game, if you run the same play on defense, if you run that same play, they're going to adjust to it. Now, that was very small, but with NCAA, they're not going to do what they're supposed to do if you just have the wrong personnel. You have to, the playbooks are real specific, and you need the right people in that playbook for it to run properly. I mean, I'm pretty sure Kia can attest to that because I know he still plays it as much as I do. And that's one thing with, okay, and that's just one thing with Madden. It's not a bad game. I don't have a problem with Madden, but that's just one thing that they just don't, you know, they didn't achieve with as far as adaptive AI. It's just that, yeah, just like I said with NFL 2K, it's there. With Madden at times, they're going to react differently to the same play, but it's not as detailed as it was in NCAA. I mean, playbooks really matter in NCAA. It's probably implemented the best of I've ever seen. I mean, from the pistol to the air raid to the run and shoot to, you know, the pro style offenses, the spread, the option, you know, they have so many different playbooks, and it works. And you just can't, you got to recruit the right way for your defense or your offense to run properly.
Yeah.
Yep. And I can't wait for Kia to get in here, man, because and the reason why, guys, why I ask these questions, especially guys like VF, guys like Kia, they have actual examples. And what I'm saying is most of the time people they just like to say stuff like, and I'm not blaming anybody in the chat, I'm just saying as a community, like, we got to really start breaking this stuff down. Like how we've been doing with Rex and them. Been telling them, Smitty knows this 2-3 years, yo, we need coaching adjustments, man.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah.
I've been asking for these things for years. Now we're getting them. I'm screaming and pounding the table for the last 4 years. Composure, composure, composure. NCAA had it. I need that. Maybe we'll get it. So this is why I always ask like that, because we need to. And I know the answer is going to be, well, they should know. No. I get that. But we need to be still on our job telling them, look, man, y'all did this in NCAA. We need this in Madden and make it a priority.
Right.
Yep.
Real quick, Kia, what are your thoughts on it, man? Because I know you, just like VF, y'all have actual examples, things that we need from NCAA and that we need in Madden. And also you will say where NCAA was bad as well.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I mean, we're all guilty to some degree of kind of romanticizing these older games. NCAA was a great game. Rex himself, have you guys thought on the interview he did?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Rex himself admitted that they have not made a Madden yet better than NCAA 14.
Yeah.
And I see where he's coming from with that, from a couple of perspectives. Virtual football touched on some things that, you know, really brought a smile to my face. Like I'd love to expound about that. Some people may not realize about that game. Recruiting.
Oh,
Let's say you run an option offense, a triple option offense. You cannot recruit a 5-star wide receiver or a 5-star pro-style quarterback. He won't come to your school.
Right.
And if by some, you know, fluke you do happen to get one, he'll transfer.
Yep.
Stuff like that is amazing. The playbooks are outstanding, and there's about 4 or 5 times more of them than there are in Madden. I don't know how we got to a point where a game did 150 playbooks better than 32.
Yeah.
The air raid playbooks, they even have the line splits, the wide line splits that they run in that offense to spread the field better. It's phenomenal.
And
you
can't.
can't.
People designed them. That's the funniest thing.
Right. It's the same team. That was Rex and Clint's first game.
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that. Yeah.
Wow.
You cannot base a line of spread offense in that game. The hash marks are on point and scaled correctly. The splits are good. The line splits are accurate for the spread offense. You try to base a line of spread offense in that game, you're going to give up 50 points in an online game, which you could in a lot of offenses. That's part of the bad part of it. But you could not do that base of line junk in that game. It did not work. You'd get destroyed. Animations. There are pass rush animations in that game that we haven't seen since.
The spin move, the rip,
the spin move, the bull rush, the
bull
power
rush.
bull rush.
Oh my God! Let me tell you, there's times when I get a bull rush push the offensive tackle into the quarterback. I love seeing stuff like that, and you don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's gone. I haven't seen that animation since.
Just wait. It'll return. I haven't
seen that since. What else?
The tackling, the physics.
Yes, the tackling. It was cleaner.
Yeah.
I think what happens with Madden sometimes, they try to layer on too much, and it ends up getting in its own way. They'd be much better just ripping a large chunk of things out, to be honest with you. The physics and the tackling physics at NCAA ran much cleaner, much smoother, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
The spread game may have been a little bit overpowered in that game, but that's the theme of the game. You know, that's the theme of they're trying to replicate that spread, no huddle, breakneck pace in college football.
Yeah, that's just how college football is.
Right, and they nailed that to a T. You know, the pro style books weren't as good, but the spread and the option playbooks were outstanding. They were borderline perfect.
Yeah, they were great.
They were really, really good. I really missed that game, and I was really surprised, frankly, to hear Rex admit that out loud. That NCAA 14 is one of the best football games we've ever seen.
I can agree. I still play it to this day.
And think about this, guys. Like, you know, of course, y'all know I can't never put stamps on years and stuff like that, but Rex and Clint say stuff. So there's certain little general things I could say. You have to know that listening to Rex say that publicly, and like Kia said, Clint being one of the heads on that game, this stuff is gonna return. It's frustrating for us all as gamers to be like, man, it was right there in that game. Because Smitty will tell you, we used to go down there and be like, why y'all can't just Why don't you just go in the closet and take what's in there from NCAA and come out and put it in Madden? They was like, bro.
Yeah, look at that. Somebody just said it. We just missed it. Somebody in the chat said the moves, the moves, the defensive tackle or the defensive lineman moves was back on the right stick in NCAA.
Right.
Yes.
You can move, and if you did and if move got blocked, you can counter move the
counter
opposite way.
right.
Oh gosh, man.
And Clint knows, man. That's all I can say. It's just frustrating that why isn't that stuff there? That, you know, even as a game changer, quote unquote, and we know the ins and outs, we still be like, yeah, but why didn't you not co-design that together? You know what I mean? Like, why would you build that here and say, well, we just ain't gonna keep it there? That don't make sense.
I think I think one of the only knock on NCAA, like the defense could have been a little bit tighter, but it's college. We know it's college mostly offensive. You know,
right?
It's mostly offensive type of gameplay, and I know I'm gonna go back a little bit further, but if you remember the atmosphere in the PlayStation 2, in the in original Xbox NCAA games, where the crowd would make the stadium shake and it would confuse players. I mean, it'll rattle and confuse players back then. I think that's the only thing that I would miss from that. But I mean, I still play it. I still love the game to this day.
Yep. And I heard Smitty talking about the coaching tendencies in that game. What was great about that game is that coaches moved around. Yes. Offensive coordinators would become head coaches at different schools. Head coaches would get fired and go somewhere else. And they'd run those teams' schemes. And the CPU can run all the schemes in the game very well. They can run the wishbone. They can run, you know, a pro-style offense. They can run spread no huddle. They can run a multiple playbook. There's no offense that the CPU can't execute.
And they do it very well too. If you go up against a team that can run that pistol very well, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah,
you would have problems with that pistol if you're not prepared for it.
Teams that ran the 3-3-5 stack and the 4-2-5, they'd be much more blitz heavy, stuff like that. They just had the feel of college football nailed very, very well. It was excellent.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing, if they had the like somebody put home field advantage where you actually felt being inside, like how they used to have it.
Yeah,
they had that. It would have been awesome. But what I was about to say about another thing. Oh no, I lost it. It'll come back. You guys can go ahead.
Kia, while we got you, man, and you know, you're welcome to stay on, you know, till 10 if you want. What are your thoughts on? And then VF, you come in right after him. What are your thoughts on the adaptive AI discussion? I know you've seen it. There's guys in the competitive world, I think they're getting the wrong idea of what we're trying to say. And I know it's different from a competitive standpoint, but what are your thoughts on that in general? And what would you like to see? What does adaptive AI mean to you?
All right, let me start off with what it means to me. And the question I'll pose is this. Is this community ready for a game where if I'm establishing a base play,
here we go.
If I'm establishing a base play in my scheme, let's say, for example, the shallow cross, and I have a deep square and a deep post tied to that, if I'm establishing that and I'm, you know, getting my dink and dunk yards down the field, and all of a sudden your defenders recognize, okay, he's running shallow cross. And then on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, they see shallow cross, they're biting on it, and all of a sudden there's a 10-yard window between him and a safety for me to hit that dig. Is the community prepared for that consequence?
Nope. I can answer that for you. They not. They say they are, but they're not.
What I think we want, or what I think that people mean when they say that is, okay, it's 3rd and 6. I know you're going to be running a slant route. I want to have my defenders play that first down marker and leverage to the inside and be there. You know, don't go drifting off, you know, 3 yards wide. Do what I instruct you to do. And if they run that route into where I have my defenders, make the play. We want game awareness, down and distance awareness. And we want our zones to have the programming to recognize, the rules for basic route combinations. That's what the community really wants. You don't want the adaptive AI part, because the community, I don't believe, will handle it, because guys who are savvy will, like I said, will do what I said. They'll hammer a base play, and then when the AI is adapting to that, they'll hammer you with a counter, and then people will scream that it's broken. So I agree, we need to have the game get to a point where we have basic football intelligence being replicated on a consistent basis. What I like to have happen is, I want to see the play recognition rating be something that I really notice.
You just took that. You took my steam right out my mouth when I was about to say. That's what it mean to me.
Because there's no way to capture the strength of a player that has great instincts.
Right.
Troy Polamalu in his prime, or Ray Lewis, or Ed Reed, a guy who is very good at anticipation. You can't really replicate that in this game right now. I'd love to see the play recognition just have the effect of the guy being able to read blocks better, not be susceptible to play action fakes as much, and be able to move downhill faster when he sees something. I don't get the sense that it's really doing much.
Yeah, it's not, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have to say any more what he said. I think basically at the end, it's play recognition. When you talk about adaptive AI, those two just go hand in hand in the world of football. I mean, you could talk about the other sports, but as far as football, you got to know what's going on at what time, who's going to break for the ball faster, who's going to cover better. I mean, when you look at these ratings, that's what basically the adaptive AI is there in numbers. When you look at the ratings, now does it replicate when you see somebody? And you already know I'm not big on numbers, because I think you are who you are. But somebody with a 74 coverage should not do the same as somebody with an 89 coverage just because you ran that play. There's going to be some deficiencies there. Yeah. So I mean, I don't even think it need to be just adaptive AI. If everything could be, rendered based on that alone, this discussion is out the window, because you may, like, say for instance, if you recruited somebody in NCAA, or you drafted somebody and he's a rookie and he's a good cover corner, but he's not a good zone corner, you already have your adaptive AI right there as far as what play you call. You may have to call a cover 3, and he may be a rookie, and he's just going to be out there. If he does, because there's
some things that some guys just can't do.
Right, exactly. Right. So, and not only that, even if they become a better corner, or they become a better zone coverage corner, because you put them out there and they start catching on a little bit and they get better. Week 5, week 6, that same zone that he was playing, he may break on the ball a little bit better, or he may play that zone better. But that goes back to not only just play recognition, the intelligence of the player. And I don't think they have intelligence in Madden. I think they have it in NCAA. I know for certain they got it in college basketball as far as basketball IQ. But those type of things I don't think, like Kia said, I don't think they're ready for. I don't think the community be ready for something like that, because that alone it'll hinder a lot of videos. I'll just say that.
Oh, it'll be a whole lot of broken breakdown videos.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll render a lot of video.
Whether the CPU does it or a human does it, people will throw a fit the first time that happens. You know that as well as I do.
But then again, when they look at football on Sunday and see it happen to their favorite team, we need to cut him. But it happens in the video game. Now you're mad at Rex. I mean, come on, you can't have it both ways.
But you know what, though? At the same time, it's not about people being ready for it. It has to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to happen.
Well, if it's football, I agree. If it's football, I agree.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like in the football context of it, like it has to happen, because we're talking about the game evolving. And you know what? Like I said this to Sim offline. I said that this should only be in simulation setting, not in comp, because comp doesn't want football like that. They want to do their arcade. They want to do arcade stuff, arcade execution in a football setting. So, we know what happened a few weeks ago. Dudes got mad at me when I said, about an inaccurate pass happening in the NFL and saying it needs to happen in Madden. So it's like, if you mad at that, you're gonna go buck wild off of, you know, actually seeing guys like adapt to not to play calling, but adaptively try to position themselves better to make plays or coaching adjustments. You know, like you make your coaching adjustment, but then you also see players adjust to what's happening in front of them. And like, see, this is what like this is the main thing that I'm talking about, is like kind of like what 2K did with Ace. And not saying that you're going to pull and all of a sudden you're about to break off your zone and cover this route all the way across the field and all that. I'm not saying do anything like that, but I'm saying based upon the play call decision, if you see it happening enough, you're going to position yourself better to potentially make a play. Not saying that you're just going to leave and have this big old gaping hole chilling there, and you're just gonna be able to, you know, expose all day. Not necessarily. It will happen because you can't cover everything, but doing a better job of potentially positioning yourself between plays based upon what's going on in front of you. So if somebody is calling the same play 4 or 5 times or whatever, and then all of a sudden on that 6th play they call something different, that doesn't mean that, you know, they adapted up, time to switch, money play. Like
that's a Madden 10.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's a video game. That's a video game.
If you look at Madden 10, they actually had a mode where the AI adapt like that based on the difficulty level. That's where that came from.
Yeah,
but the user still has to make the right call, though, and that's what.
That's
the part that concerns me when I hear people talk about adaptive AI. You still have to be able to scheme correctly.
Right.
If I'm beating you with cover 3 beaters and you still keep on calling cover 3, and you don't understand why you're getting beat by cover 3 beaters, that's on you. Your players shouldn't be able to bail you out. You have to be able to make the right call to counter what I'm doing at a base level.
I mean, the fact that even the fact that they don't bail you out, that just tells you about the AI of the team. I mean, you're doing something that doesn't work. Exactly. That should tell you itself that you have to do something different. You know, everything you just can't have a football simulator where you just cut the game on and just go.
Right.
You know, so NYK is definitely right with that.
I think you're right, though. It has to be, now that they have segmented the game, it would be ideal if I don't know if they could pull it off like that because of AI, but maybe it would have to be like a simulation thing. Because, you know, my dream is for the game to have gotten to a point where, say, CFM is the NFL experience. And Rex kind of gave me a bone with that by making CFM automatically the simulation setting. But Smitty knows I talked about this 2 or 3 years ago. And stuff like that will happen. I know most of us hardcore sim guys will love it, because then we know if I got this corner, he's susceptible to certain things. I know he's going. Now I got to go find another guy that's better to play that.
It happens all the time in NCAA 14. All the time. All the time. If you just got to deal with it that 1 year with that sorry corner, and you better hope and pray. You better hope and pray you can recruit a better one.
Yep.
And those safeties in that game, they will get play faked.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm cool with
that. Those composure levels and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. You gotta see. That's what brings that whole strategy element out, because now you're gonna put that player that may not have as much of composure or whatever. You're gonna be more cautious with what kind of sets you put him in. You're gonna try not to get him as exposed, but you want him to get that experience at the same time so he can get better.
It's risk reward.
Exactly. Risk reward. Spot on. Yep.
I just want situational awareness, man. Like, I got a play right now that I don't know if I'll cut it tonight or tomorrow on the goal line. I mean, and you know, maybe it's because I was playing all Madden. I don't know. I don't care what level it is. It should still work the same way. I'm on like the 8-yard line. Like Ryan Shazier drops to the goal line and just watches the quarterback. He doesn't look at this guy coming beside him. He doesn't look at the guy behind him. He's just doing this. And I'm like, in what world does a defender not look for some type of work, knowing the goal line is behind him?
Right.
That makes no sense to me.
Right,
that kind of stuff.
Because
Right.
I think how it plays out, if they're playing that zone or that area, they will sit in that zone until the ball comes in the area, not the player. You know,
Yep.
and I think
Yep.
NCAA, I know NCAA 12, they had it really good where they would actually move and they would try to carry, they would cover the defender into another zone. And I'm pretty 14 does it fairly well as well, but Madden just hasn't caught on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you shouldn't need a mechanic in order to have something like that be done properly, whether you have to set a coaching setting or, you know, clip the right stick or what have you. That's the thing that annoys me about the game right now, is that I have to do things like put my pass rush on aggressive in order for JJ Watt to be JJ Watt.
Yes.
When I don't,
yes.
he's just playing pitter patter down there. You know, we talk about the stuff that we want in the game. That's all great and good, but the game still has a whole heck of a lot to do on a base level, like just lining up properly and just having guys play with proper leverage in order for that stuff to even matter. If we can clean that stuff up first, that'll take care of a good, I don't know, 70, 75% of it. And then you can tack on the adaptive stuff as much as you want.
Right.
But as soon as we need to have fronts lining up correctly, we need to have the tools that are in the game work. There are tools in the game like shading and protective sticks that are completely broken, that don't work. So
yeah, whatever happened? Nobody ever even talk about that no more. Whatever happened to that?
I mean, unless we have all the tools working, the rest of it's moot. Until we have these players playing, you know, in correct technique, playing in phase correctly in cover 3, and not bailing out with their back toward the receiver, and, you know, not lining up to leave gaps exposed in the running game that shouldn't be there.
Right.
Yeah, all of that
line
stuff
up correctly. You can't do anything else.
You got to get the, like you said, Kia, the techniques. All of that stuff has to be built first.
Oh yeah.
But I love what you said, because you said this last time you were on, that aggressive. I like that they allow us to have the adjustments. I'm not saying I don't like that. I love that. I campaigned for it. But here we are. Situational awareness. It's 3rd and 15. If I got I need JJ Watt to be
rush the damn passer.
Yes.
Right.
I shouldn't have to cut it on aggressive to make him do what he needs to do. That it just makes no sense to me, man.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, it all goes into the offense too. I mean, I'm not sure. I know they do it now, and it's good that they put it in where you need a first down. They'll run their route slightly further towards the first down. That's good, and that's something that I miss in NCAA. I wish they did a little bit more, but I'm glad that they did do that. So that's one aspect of situational awareness that you do see.
Yeah, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. So that's just to clear it up, man, before we move on to the next thing. We just want the game and the players to play what they're supposed to do. Like, I hate that excuse that people always throw at me. Well, you need to use that guy. No, I shouldn't have to. I just let me try to create my own pressure. And if I'm telling my linebacker to do this, just at least let him attempt it. I'm not saying, because people always blame me for this, y'all. Oh, you just wanted to work. No, I don't want it to work all the time.
You can only use your one guy. Even if I'm using a guy in coverage, I still need my guys up front to do their job.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
If I have a big time pass rusher that's clearly the better pass rusher than the offensive line guy that he's up against, I should not have to user him to make him show that he's better than that lineman.
Exactly.
You should not have.
All I'm saying.
Oh, go ahead.
And you should be able to beat it. That's not what we're saying, guys. I know you always want to criticize that when I make a video. I'm not wanting my guy to get the pick every time. I'm not even wanting him to get the pass breakup. I just want to see these guys attempt to do what they're supposed to do. They should still get beat, regardless. But at this point, y'all know how the coverage is. We still get the spot zone stuff, where the dudes just go back to a spot and then they just stand there.
Right. They wait for the ball, not the player.
That stuff has to go, man. It has to go.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And also, can I please have my wide receivers back? Can they enter the building?
Oh man,
we just finished the first season of the Sim Standard Radio League. We're on season 2 now. I went an entire season with Allen Robinson with 96 spec catches, 16 games. You want to take a guess on how many one-on-one streaks he caught all season long?
Oh, I know.
What? 2?
1. 1.
Oh, dang.
1.
No.
I just played a game in another league where I just left Kelvin Benjamin all by himself, one-on-one against a guy with 82 zone coverage. I don't care. Go ahead, throw it if you want. It's going to take the receiver 10 years to get down there, and even if you do throw it down there, they nerf the chances so much that okay, you're going to maybe complete 1 in 5 of them.
They play the receiver, you can forget about it.
Yeah,
and that they have to find a way to balance that, man. I know what they're going for, but it reminds me of what Gibbs and Falls told me several years ago. It's a lot of band-aids. They try to do this with this, and then they try to fix this with that, but then they never come back to the original issue.
They went too far the other direction, and they never really addressed the core issue. The core issue on release of Madden 16 where guys were trying to ball hawk Calvin Johnson with 5'8" DBs.
Yep.
That was the problem. The only issue with the aggressive catch, in my opinion, in Madden 16 was that it was strictly a canned 2-man sequence, and no one else could impact it until that dance was done. That's why guys were coming down with catches in double and triple coverage. It wasn't really double and triple coverage. It was that those defenders couldn't impact the play.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then in Madden 17, they added the SWAT, which was overdone because I was having Tyrann Mathieu swatting Randy Moss one-on-one at will. On what planet?
Right.
So they had the pendulum swung one way, swung it right back the other, but never bothered to put it right in the middle.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's still like that to this day.
That's crazy, Mega. That's a great segue, and you don't even realize that it was. And I'll start with Smitty, and then we'll go down the line. There's Smitty, Kia, and then VF, and come back to me. This will probably close us out. The last topic, man, about that interview that Rex did. And the reason why I said it's a segue, because I want to ask each one of you guys, what are some of the things that you took from what Rex was saying in terms of, the insight? And the segue, in my opinion, is the blending animations thing. Really stood out to me. This is something I've heard, again, peeking behind the curtain. This is something I've heard conversation about two years ago. I knew this was something that they're trying to do, and it very well seems like that's what's going to happen. Remember that article last week showing the physics model and all of that, and everyone was like, Sim, what you think? Y'all notice I really didn't comment much on it because I already know this stuff. But Smitty, what are some of the biggest things, emphasis or insight that you took from that? It was a pretty long interview, but there was a lot of information there, man. What were some of the things that stood out to you?
Man, shoot. Everything. Like a lot of it stood out. I mean, it was like, he told so much stuff, like about him talking about, see, some of the stuff is rehashed because we talked about it. Yeah. Frostbite.
Grab it. My bad, Smitty. I just want to tell the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm about to grab the link now and post it, so anybody who didn't see it, y'all will have it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Smitty. My bad.
All right. No, you good. No. The Frostbite. The reason why I say that is because he talked about it more candidly and just was like, well, he's like, guys, y'all realize with us being on Frostbite now what we're able to do. Now, we've said it on this show multiple times. Sim said it in his interview, talking with Rex about it, and he explained it. But here he just elaborates on it even more. He's like, now we're in the studio and we see these other games and we're like, oh, they have that. Oh, man, we got to get that. They have this. We're going to get that. We got to get that, too. So then when I hear stuff like that, and it makes me think of Madden 19, that stuff is interesting, even with going forward. Rex, the role change up. Now Rex is, I thought it was for franchise mode, but he's creative director now for the franchise, not just the mode, just the whole franchise for Madden. And Clint is now the gameplay director, the lead. And that was big. That was a big standout thing for me as well. But and the other thing too, when they talked about what percentage, because that's something that's been a question in my mind, because Rex brought up in the past on podcasts and stuff, like they'll do in the studio, and he would talk about how, you know, it would slow down their development on future titles because they would have to do patches and updates and stuff. Doing those patches, no, not updates, but doing those patches slows down development on future titles.
Well, that goes back to what we were saying earlier about the motto.
About the service. Yep, that's true.
It goes right back to it.
Yep. But the thing that he said was that only like a very, very small percentage of people of the team is working on updates and such for Madden 18. He said like nearly 90% of the dev team is working on Madden. And like the rest of that segment is working on the rest of the game, you know, I mean, on updates and such. So those were some really big things that stood out to me when looking at the, you know, listening to that interview there. I know there's a lot of other stuff, but, you know, like I said, it was so much that was talked about and discussed in that interview, man. It's just something that, like, I mean, that video there was truly a treasure. And like, people really, really need to listen to that, especially when, you know, you come out, you talk about, you need that insight and you really are questioning these cats. My man's telling you. I mean, it's like this is nothing else. Like, it's 2 hours long, yeah, but my man's is telling you. So he's letting you know what's up.
Before you go, Kia, I just want, and shout outs to my man here, NBA Live Philly. There's no game that none of us has played that didn't need a patch.
Hold on.
When was the last one? Let's think about that. See if we can find out what's the last game any of us has played that didn't need a patch. It's gotta be at least going back to
I don't know, man.
Pre Xbox 360, PS3. So we're talking about maybe 10 years now, at least.
This is the reason.
Yeah.
If EA does like what these games do on PC, the word patch just need to go away. Don't worry about that no more. If they do the subscription model, it's not going to be that. So it's not even about doing it right the first time and they won't need it. The game's just going to continuously evolve into what we want it on a weekly, monthly, 6-month basis. That's just how those models roll. So I mean, I'm not going to say you're going to have to not worry about it because I don't know what EA is actually doing. But 9 times out of 10, when they go to that model, you don't have to worry about those type of situations.
Man, hold on, Kia. Never mind. Go ahead. I'm gonna come back to something I just saw in the chat. It puzzles me, but
speaking of NBA Live, you guys need to do a show on NBA Live. NBA Live is opening up some people's eyes.
Yeah, I think we definitely.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's gaining attention.
Yeah, I can agree with that. That game is that 2-year dev cycle helped them a lot. That game is really good.
You know, that's interesting when you say that, VF, about the 2-year cycle thing, because it's funny to see that games that do spend a multi-year cycle end up being like they progressively put out a much better product exponentially. I mean, obviously, outside of the obvious, you would think they would with that many years, but I mean, we've seen games that faltered, like, you know, it happened with Assassin's Creed Unity. It happened with that. It happened with Watch Dogs, even though it was a good game, but ultimately, you know, from how it was shown all those years
to what you got,
what it came out. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I agree.
So it's like, I look at a game like UFC, like I said, looking at UFC 3, looking at the video footage, it's like the striking on there, it looks a lot more fluid. It doesn't have that stiff or robotic kind of flow to it. And it's like, man, if the game plays like that, like if it's like that, where's Fight Night at, dog?
But that's true.
Smitty, don't stop.
Hey,
don't get me started with Fight Night.
No,
that's the red button.
Hey, there's a reason. I hate to say it, but there's a reason why you want to hold on to your older consoles because of stuff like that.
Don't poke the bear.
No, you're right. You're right.
Don't poke the
Fight
bear.
Night 3 was a great game.
I'm
just saying, Sim. Dog, look,
Don't poke the bear, please, man.
They did the move transition, what my man Mighty Mouse did in the dang on game. Like he took my man, threw him up, and just switched into the submission like that. I'm like, if you got the game flowing like that now, dog. Nope.
But just go back to speaking on what live. About live. I mean, NYKid was saying, like, you look at that game from a 2-year dev cycle is amazing, but I said it earlier. Nobody realized that the type of updates they had in that game prior to that, it wasn't a patch type update. 14 and 15 got on the fly updates. Just streamlined to it. And just imagine that with the games you get now. I mean, you don't have to worry about Tuesday a patch is coming. A lot of that stuff with live back in 14 and 15, you didn't know until you cut the game on. But
that's a good point.
A lot of people don't see it like that. But I didn't get back on topic. I know y'all talking about the interview.
No, that's on topic.
My bad. Because I didn't watch the interview.
I kind of hijacked it there for a little bit.
I mean, it's all relative though.
I mean, I just heard about me personally. I just heard about the interview a couple days ago, and I've been working, so I haven't really watched it. I got the link up here, and I'm gonna put it to my phone. And when I'm at work, while I'm at work tomorrow, I'm gonna be listening to it. But like the only thing I hear for so far, like what you were saying, Sim, about the branching animations, that just goes back to what we were saying earlier, as far as what the offensive lineman or the defensive lineman do. If we can get that in other aspects of the game, I think that'd be great. Not only just for user, just for situations where defense or a player in general just needs to change what they need to do to make a play. I think that's great. I mean, even like when you see, man. I mean, I put a play up on Twitter when Julio Jones went up for a ball and he missed it on the jump ball, but he ended up catching it on the way down. If it's anything like that, I'm all for it. I mean, I don't even know if I can even pull it up on my Twitter. If so, I'll retweet it. But it was an excellent play by Julio Jones, and it's just a little glimmer of what you can see when you talk about branching animations. So I'm gonna let y'all talk about that real quick. If I pull it up, I will let you guys know.
You'll hear it, man, when you watch it. Rex basically was saying that how it's so funny, man, because Rex has a way of telling you what the game does bad in so many words and why it needs to be fixed and how they plan to fix it. Because he basically in one breath said, listen, this is why that happens. And we're looking into, getting it to where the guy doesn't just go there and stop. Now he can branch out of that. All of that stuff that you just said. And this stuff has been in talks for years. Because even the branching animation that they had some years back, like a few years back, it still wasn't quite, it didn't work quite the way you would want it to work. It wasn't seamless. They still had to pop out and then do something else. He's talking more like blending the animations with the physics and allowing them to be doing one thing and then transition to something else, all in the same sequence.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now,
that'd be great.
That's what we need, man.
All right, I just pulled it up right there. I want you guys to look at that whenever you guys get a chance. It's just a glimmer of what, if you guys are talking about how things could change on the animation of what they can do. If it's anything like that can be branched, I would love that. Because he wasn't supposed to catch that ball. He had to change his entire body to catch that ball. So I think that's something that'd be great if they're going to expand on it like that.
You would really, to me, I think we really would see a benefit from it in DB and wideout interactions.
Right.
Trenches, definitely the trench. And it's kind of like they're trying to throw in the foundation because to me, again, dropping some more hints of things we talked about years ago. Remember when I told y'all that we had the conversation about reach tackles? This was the stuff Rex was telling me then. With Sim, I know what you want, but this is how we envision it. The torque and the physics and the power of and the force that this guy is generating by grabbing this. I was like, whoa, I won't even thinking all of that. And if you see, like now you can control it, you can see where that base is being put in there. So now it'll be if they get it to a point where if the physics start working like that and the physics means something in the trenches, then you will see that transition from being falling down and being able to reach out. And you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's almost like they're trying to put in some of the basics, and then if they could throw that sauce on it, it'll be crazy. It'll be a crazy thing. But you know, we got to see that. You know, that's not something that I'm gonna sit here and say it's gonna work. We got to see this stuff actually play out.
I think whatever they try to do, in addition to, you know, the frostbite stuff, you know, created a lot of bugginess. That's beyond obvious at this point. That interview confirmed what a lot of us had thought all along with the frostbite and long shot stuff and the diversion of resources that took. So that wasn't much of a surprise, but it was just kind of, you know, confirmed that, you know, yeah, we just couldn't polish everything as much as we, you know, could. And I get that. FIFA 15 was the same way. FIFA 15 was a bad game. It had a ton of problems. 16 was a little bit better. 17 is a gorgeous game, beautiful game, as far as how it moves and how it looks and all that good stuff. The thing that surprised me, I guess I really didn't take this much into account, just by listening to his tone and kind of reading between the lines, that man has to fight. That dude is fighting hard.
Yeah,
getting the stuff that he wants in the game and what we want in the game. He wants the right things in the game. I'm 100% convinced of that. Clint and the Rex are the right guys. AW as well, but they are just knocking heads in there, it seems like. And you know, I hear the community say all the time, you know, why do we have to help the devs? Blah 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 blah. If you want to know why the competitive guys get what they want all the time, it's because they scream and yell and kick up dust. While, you know, the sim guys, you know, quite frankly, a lot of the things that they do are just noise and a waste of time. You know, I don't care. Do I want ball morph and limb morph? No, I don't. But I want, but I want to be able to have a trips check out of coverages that I used to teach my JV DBs in high school in the game to run, so I can defend bunch. That's more important. Sorry, it just is. Those are the kind of things we have to communicate and just pound the table in massive numbers for. You know, because if not, we're going to get updates where there's 10 things for comp and 1 thing for competitive, and you know, and we'll be treated like redheaded stepchildren.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Here's the thing, man. This is what I took from the whole thing. I'll just give some quick highlights. It's the stuff that I tell you guys all the time. And Rex, this is like his 3rd time saying it publicly. If you don't take nothing else away from it, just listen to the segment when Kia just basically illustrated it, where he's saying, look, we have to convince these guys that really don't. He literally said there's guys that don't even know football. That they got to convince this is why we need that. And they're like, no, we got to get the David Tyree catch because that's cool. He literally said this.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that happens. Why you guys want to act like you don't want to believe it, this is the truth. We've seen it in person. We've seen it. It's not the developers, man.
That's terrible. I've been trying to stay away from that for a long, because I mean, I've heard the stories about this need to be in the game because this cool, that need to be in the game because that's cool. I mean, I understand the game's supposed to be fun at the end of the day, but you have a game that looked this good and can move this good. I know we talk about player movement, but a game that looks this good, moves this good, and you're trying to make it into an arcade game.
It just makes no sense.
It doesn't. Exactly, it doesn't. You can't have, if you want an arcade game, there's other games out there for you. This game looks too good to be playing that wonky. That's what I always take from it. It looks too good to be played that wonky.
Yeah, man.
It just creates stress. I've never seen so many stressed Madden gamers as I had this year. Guys are just pulling their hairs out.
Yeah, this year's been the worst. And I tweeted it earlier, a few months ago, about a month ago. I said Madden 18 has been a disaster, but it has nothing to do with the gameplay. It's the people that are playing it. It makes people who are questionable about the game, it questions them wanting to play the game, and it's not because of the gameplay.
Yeah.
And I mean, God bless the competitive guys. I don't know how they keep their sanity.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, if you guys have noticed, I haven't been playing the MUT rank modes hardly at all because it's a buggy nightmare. Imagine having to play for money. Are you serious? I've just been playing on my online CFMs. I've been leaving the MUT world pretty much alone, except for a little dabble here and there. But God, I can't play this game for rank.
No, I can agree. Man. Yeah, it's pretty rough, man. And you would think with them having their own mode, it would subside. It wouldn't be that bad, but it's gotten worse.
Well, the big thing that, and this is the other thing that Rex said in the interview, this is something said a long time ago. When you transition over to a new engine, that stuff is rough.
Yeah, I can agree.
That's what literally it was. He was like, and then on top of that, they had to do the long shot stuff. Plus, they were helping with live. So it's like you didn't essentially have all hands on deck. You had hands everywhere. Some hands on deck, other hands everywhere else. And when you got that, that's gonna make it even rougher. So that's what I'm saying. Like people look at it like, oh, y'all making excuses. I'm like, no, that's the reality. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be honest, I mean, at this point, does it really matter if they think we're making it? Well, you guys making excuses?
Oh, I'm not worried about it, but I'm just saying that's the reality, though.
It don't matter to me, and that's why I sit here and say every week, listen, if you of the mindset that the devs don't know what they're doing, they're not doing their job right, we don't have nothing to talk about. I'm gonna just let you sit on your side. I'll be on this side. Just like here in the chat. Oh, maybe Rex just not convinced. Man. Again, all of y'all got jobs. Go tell your boss tomorrow that you gonna change the way stuff works. Then let me know how that works.
Hey man, I'll be on this chat the next day telling y'all I'm looking for a job.
we just gotta, at the end of the day, we're all men, man. Like we gotta stop doing that. And this is even outside of gaming, just as a people. It's too much of this. That's why y'all notice I don't even be on Twitter as much no more. Let me tell y'all something I did. I just got a new phone. Twitter is not even on there. I only look at Twitter when I'm on my computer now because
I stepped back from it and I just stopped playing Madden 18, and it's not because of the game is bad. It's just I had to clear my mind because when I do play and just say, for instance, if I do hear or look at feedback, it's just a headache. And I like the game. I don't have anything against it. It's just that I feel more free when I'm just cut on my PlayStation 3. I play my NCAA. Nobody else talks about that game, so I'm good. So when I see people talk about Madden, I'm like, okay. I just keep scrolling. I scroll up because I don't want to hear about the foolishness.
I ain't got time for it, man.
It's just I don't know. I like you said, we're all grown men. We're supposed to be, and I don't see how to this day some people still can't treat it as such. You said what you said 4 years ago. Why are you coming back with the same stuff?
Because they're still playing the game. That's why.
Right.
They're download playing game and buying MUT packs.
Right. And I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not playing Madden 18, and it's okay for me. And it's not that I don't like it. Like I said it about 4 times now. It's not that I don't like it. It's just my mind is clear.
Right.
I feel and really the gameplay's not bad. The CFM and that's mainly what it is, to be honest, guys. The CFM is not for me. It's not where it needs to be. Once it gets there, I'll be back. I'll be back. That the Dynasty mode of NCAA is probably like one of the best, if not the best, Dynasty modes ever put out as far as football games go. I mean, it speaks to me. So I go there instead of just somebody put the boy name in the chat. Y'all keep going.
Yeah, that too. I don't even pay no attention to that, man. But
they don't put the boy name in the chat. I tried not to do it, but they don't put.
No, you ain't gotta say nothing, man. You good? Go ahead. Go on.
What happens, man?
Keep talking what you was talking.
That's why I'm not on Twitter as much. people be trying to generate drama. I don't understand this. But anyway, I'm gonna move on from that, man. We're about to wrap up. The last thing I will say is, and DSK, you know I love you, brother, but I have to say this. It was something you said earlier, and I'm like, this to me, I just can't agree with. He says the dev team has had their time. We need to move on to new people.
Man, okay.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna just say two quick things. At the end of the day, this dev team that's there know what they're doing. Trust me. And that's another thing Rex mentioned. Did y'all hear when he said that there was a dev that told him that there's no such thing as a purple zone? Guess who said that? That was A-Dub. Rex gave a nice little segment about how he's telling him, well, no, in order to do that, we got to do this. In order to do that, we got to do that. We got to put this in.
And I'll tell you why that happens.
Go ahead.
Because for 10 years, the Madden community has believed that curl flat zones should defend the deep out and deep corner routes. So, Rex hears that noise and, he's trying to give the guys what they want. So he goes to A-Dub and he tells them he wants the curl flat zones to do this. And yeah, I can see how A-Dub would say, what do you got in your mind? No, it's why you have DBs for in the corners to cover those routes. That's why that stuff happens. That's why we need more people like us growing, communicating, and educating people.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Let's stop beating up the dev team. I'm saying it too. We need more people like to help the dev team influence that guy that when Rex goes to him and he's like, oh no, OBJ catch, put that in. This is what we're saying. This community and more football guys like Kia, DSK, you're one of them. We have to get more of a voice and help the devs. Stop beating the devs up. And the other thing I wanted to say real quick, and I'll come back to you, VF, is Smitty says this all the time. Why would we want to keep rotating new people? Every time you bring in new people, here's a new vision. And we don't even know if the vision would be the same with the next people. One thing I could guarantee y'all, we have football guys in there right now. Trust. Yeah, they there. A-Dub will talk circles around most of you. I promise you that. They are there. Clint is an ex-NFL player. Rex played college football. It's a whole plethora of dudes there who played football on a higher than high school level. That's not the problem. Go listen to the interview. Rex clearly explains to you, man, it's a battle. We try to do this. Sometimes we got to sneak stuff in. That's just how it is. So what we need to do as this community who wants the real deal, we got to find a way to be more vocal in that regard. Like Kia said, teaching, educating, and letting people know, look, man, we need this kind of stuff in the game. And if it happens, it happens. It ain't nothing none of us can control, but that's just how I feel about it, man. What you have, VF?
Oh, no. I was just saying, it's like, as far as the dev team go, I don't have a problem with it. I think some people do. People patience are different than others. And me, I never question the dev team too much. I felt like there were some just small things that could have been done. I mean, I go back, Madden 15, I thought the tackling could have been better. But when 17 came, I felt like this was the time where I actually see they were actually doing something, with the game. Because, I mean, we saw 25, we saw 16, we saw 15, but 17 was the game where I was like, you know what? These guys got jobs. I can't tell them who to fire, who to hire. And I peeped game on what they were trying to do. When 17 came, I was like, okay. I kind of knew they knew what they were doing, but this is where you can really see where things are and what talent that they have. And no, the game is not perfect, but when you look at Madden 17 to Madden 25, or you look at it from prior to them even coming around, to me, that was the game that actually said that, this is where they actually got something and they got a good team here. So, I mean, it's sorry for some of y'all, they felt like it took long. It should have been quicker than that, but I mean, I can't say, none of us can say yay or nay who they hire. You just have to peep game. If you don't like it, keep it moving. I don't like CFM on Madden 18. I uninstalled the game. And it's not a bad game. It's just that CFM is what I play. And if it's not there, You know, I'm not about to sit here and say, "Oh, fire Rex because of this or fire that." I just put the game down. All of y'all know. I don't know if Kia know. I got a game room full of maybe 5,000 games in here, and out of that, I got maybe 40 or 50 football games. I'm not about to rag on Madden 18 because the CFM is bad. I'll just play another game. Yep. You know, I mean, I'm just not going to do that. I just can't see how people could do that over and over again. And I had to learn my lesson from my old channel when I was doing that. I was like, you making all these videos about this when you got another game over here you can play and just don't have the headache. You know what I mean?
I've been playing my league. My league is my CFM fix at the moment. I mean, I'm playing CFM because for whatever reason, that gets the most support on my channel. So I guess I got to give the audience what they want.
Nothing wrong with that.
I spend my time in my league. That is my career mode right now. And then occasionally I go back to MLB.
And that my league is nice on NBA 2K. That's one thing they really got. That's one thing they really got going for itself. Say what you want about everything else, and most of that stuff is valid. But that my league, the way they got it set up, is really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Well, guys, our time is up. Like I said, we're gonna start trying to stick to the schedule best we can. Kia and VF, man, last thoughts, last words before you guys go. I guess you can go ahead, Kia, and then we'll come back to VF.
You know what I want? I want a combination of Madden 16 and Madden 17 release day.
Oh my God! Here you go.
Can I have that back? Just put those two games together that came out those first 10 glorious days, and I'd be content.
There you go.
Oh,
I mean, for me, I mean, I'm good where I am. I got a couple of games I like to play, but if any last words, man, I just appreciate you guys letting me have the platform to talk again. Good breaking bread with y'all. You know, even though in the past a lot of people in this chat may not know, we had differences to the T when we first started talking.
Yeah.
But now look at us now. I mean, we talking breaking bread like it's nothing. So I appreciate it. That's all, man.
That's how it should be.
Like I say, anytime you guys want to come through my podcast, doors always open.
And one thing I want to say. One thing I want to say, piggybacking off VF, like you said. Also, just in case some of you guys in the chat don't remember, I made light mention of the point before, but remember, like you said, that when they brought up that guy's name in the chat, also remember that guy went to the studio too and came back and said these guys know what to do.
And not only that, I mean, people want to say we hating and this, that, and the third as far as he goes, and you can run back and tell him this, but I'm not about to blast him or nothing. But the situation with him, it goes deeper than just making videos and talking back and forth on Twitter. It's a reason why we don't talk to him anymore. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, but I've been said that, and I hate that it even got to come up. But I've been told y'all,
right? It's deeper than
a lot of people. You just not gonna see me talk to. I don't need to, and I don't care to. That's it. So stop asking me to do it. I got to start questioning y'all now. Why you keep asking me that? Like, come on, man.
It's not just videos and what I think of his videos. It's way deeper than we all on YouTube. We all make videos and we all just talk behind the scenes, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yep. So, but I'm just keeping it relevant to gaming. I'm just saying that's
all we have. That's all you got to do at this point, and that's where I keep it at. But if somebody asks, it's stuff behind the scenes, and that's it. You don't need to know. You don't need to know nothing else.
Yep. So, but I'll just say my piece real quick. Like always, every single person that comes through, greatly appreciate all y'all hanging out with us, chiming in, commenting, and everything. VF, Kia, definitely appreciate y'all. No doubt. And yeah, definitely listen to that interview. I don't know, Sim, maybe you need to preface each show each week 2 hours before start time so that just let that interview play, because people need to hear that and fully understand that, because there's a lot of information in that interview there. He was very open about a lot of things in that interview.
Yeah, man.
one more thing, and I'm gonna be quiet. Calvin asks about what we do to support the devs, and he said, "Well, that's what I do." And you pay for a game you expect to be up to par. What could it be? The alternative is not playing. You answered your own question.
That's it. But
you answered your own question.
The excuse they always say, man, they always throw at me. I mean, but it's the only NFL. I don't care if it is.
And it's not. It's not. I mean, to be honest, it really is not. People want to say that it is, yes, the most current one, but it's not the only NFL game. It's just up to you if you want to have fun playing other games. If not, you can keep going and be frustrated. I mean, I decided not to be frustrated, and I'm having fun with what I play. When Madden 19 or 20 when Madden 19 or Madden 20 gets the right
SFL guys are having a fun time.
There you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
Go to SFL and watch what they do. It's perfect, you know. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Madden won't change till you get competition. You might be right or you might be wrong, but if that's your perspective. I can't say you're right or wrong. I like the game. Just give me CFM and I'll be back. Other than that, I'm not gonna bash the game. It's a good game.
Yeah, man. That's just the skinny of it, man. I mean, listen, if it ain't for you, don't play it. That's the reason why y'all never hear me tell you to buy anything or don't buy anything. Just don't play it. I know it might be the only current NFL game, but hey, just listen. The video game can't be that important. It can't be that much of a drug. Like cocaine is a hell of a drug. You know, it can't be that much where you just gotta buy it and you hate it, but it's the only. Because to me, I'm not getting my fix if it's not fulfilling, such as CFM. If it wasn't for Sim Standard Radio, I would not be like. And again, YouTube is making me play it, but I can't deal with CFM right now. It's just not immersive enough. Enough stuff doesn't matter. There's not enough off-field concerns. Not, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not where I want it to be. And oh, let me ask y'all this real quick. You know, we ain't even talk about the Xbox X, but is NCAA backwards compatible yet?
No.
Still not?
No, still not. It needs to be, but it's not.
Yeah, man. See, I don't
just for the simple fact that the state of college games, they need to throw us down.
Oh yeah.
They need to throw us down because I mean I don't think we'll ever get a fully fleshed college football game like that ever again. You look at the other college games. College baseball been going since 2006. College basketball has been going since 2009, and football is more popular than them too. But the state of the way the college and litigation and money, we may never see another one like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we do.
And listening to the interview, Rex and the team, they chomping at the bit to make a game. Those guys be sending, they said they be sending concepts and stuff through in terms of stuff they want to do that gets shot down.
Right.
So they want to make a game badly. It's just the NCAA stuff got to clear all the way up before they could do it.
You got him and you got them and you got a guy named Ed O'Bannon, which
I
want to interview him one day. I really.
You know what? I would take the hands for the cause if I saw Ed O'Bannon on the street. I kid you not. I don't care if he's 6'6". Okay, that dude needs to be swung at.
Yeah, I agree. Throw hands.
That's crazy. All them years later, now you decide you need a quick lick.
Yeah, because your basketball check ran out in 2 days.
That's crazy, man. But all right, guys, man, we're gonna get out of here. Oh, next week, and BF or Kia, if y'all want to be a part of it, feel free. Let Smitty know. I won't be able to do the show next week, guys. You know, for the first time, could you believe that? I'm going to Vegas. I've been everywhere in the world, pretty much major cities, you know, except for Vegas. My first time going next week. So obviously, I'm not going to be able to do the show Thursday. But yeah, other than that, I'm sure Smitty's going to run it on his channel or what have you. The show continues. So if anybody out there or you fellas want to come on with Smitty, please do check him out. Like I said, it just by default, the show happens to just land on my channel. But whenever I'm not around, Smitty carries it. So make sure you guys check that out.
I'll let him know if I'm available. I don't mind coming through if you need me to.
Yep. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. We thank our guests. Like always, you guys are always welcome. And hey, watch the rest of this game here tonight. If you're into MUT, I can tell you now, there's some flashback cards that are coming. They asked me to post one out, so I have it out there on Twitter. David DeCastro. You know, check him out. Go look at my tweet so you can see which DeCastro will be hitting MUT. And, you know, Flashback Friday or whatever you want to call it. So outside of that, watch this game if y'all enjoy that. If not, good luck to all of your teams. Unless, of course, you're a Colts fan. Then y'all know what I'm going to say about that. But anyway, man, this has been a great one. We enjoyed it. Thank you guys once again. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.